My friends, as I prepare to give you this offering, an offering that I hope will give you courage and strength, I have an ask of you. If you enjoy this type of content, please like, subscribe, and especially share. My channel has recently reached a milestone, one of the 2 needed to begin monetizing, and I need a few more subscribers to hit that second. And it really makes a big difference in getting this information out there. So on this windy day, as I send you this offering, please share this with someone else.
If you were born in the United States, the country you knew as a child is now gone. This time next year, you'll have fewer rights than you do now. Life will indeed be harder than it is now, and this is all by design. The strongmen of our country and even planet have been planning this takeover for generations, and it's thanks to the American addiction of comfort and self-preservation, plus an unhealthy dose of denial that left any potential beacon for progress asleep at the wheel. We live in a new country the strongmen have planned for and succeeded in attaining. In order for these men and their systems to succeed, they need to grow in power, feeding off any and all available resources. And you and I are on the menu. Our blood, sweat, tears, and above all, our fears. How does losing your rights and quality of life pave the way for liberation and freedom? Well, it's all in your perspective. If you're not a white Christian man or accepted as their demagogue, life is getting harder because people like you and I don't call the shots. We don't rig the rules in our favor, and I ask you now, if you could, would you? There are important questions to ask of oneself as we face the slow societal collapse. Despite what happens in the next election, if there even is one, these men aren't going anywhere. Their actions of today to solidify power will affect your children for years to come. I invite you to access the freedom of spirit that our culture has stamped out of so many of us. The lie that someone is coming to save us is designed to blind you from the truth. There is no political party, religion, or era lost to time that will ease the suffering of your soul. The truth is that life will continue to become harder in the United States. No more rose-colored glasses or heads stuck in the sand. No chickens running around with their heads cut off. Just the liberating truth that many of our ancestors faced at one point or another. That we are the only ones to manifest our destiny. And in doing this, we demand the liberating freedom to tap into our very ancient souls that will carry us through these dark days. We are not entitled to a comfortable life or ease of spirit. This moment calls us to recognize the tremendous strength needed to call forth our power in the face of the oppressor. The truth is that many of our fellow Americans are keepers of the status quo. That is, if they haven't been duped by the strong man's lie that hurting others will improve their lives. Despite our country's outrage, we largely lack the strength and skills needed to push back against authoritarianism in a meaningful enough way. We are too divided, too wrapped up in our own egoic self-preservation to demand a stop to the drastic change our country is going through. And with this change, I invite you to think how you could change as well. You have an enormous opportunity to wake up, if you haven't already. The old rules of the American dream and our exceptionalism no longer apply to you. Instead, this collapse gives you a freedom to reimagine a future for you and your descendants. There is space in this moment in which to take stock of what matters to you and invest in it. You have a choice: to continue generating income for the shareholders, fearing how others will judge you if you don't, or follow an uncertain path towards autonomy. Mourn the loss of our country's potential if you must, but then, Embrace the opportunity to transform. What depth and meaning could you cultivate if you threw out overconsumption? If the fear of being poor no longer held you back, could you find wealth in the simple life your ancestors once knew? There is nourishment to take from our relationships once we begin learning to lay down our American egos and embrace our wholeness together. I grant you the vision to imagine a paradigm where our worth is no longer measured in dollars per hour, but is divinely bestowed upon us at the hour of our birth. There is a richness to be remembered once we shed the facade of American exceptionalism. Liberating our souls from this crushing culture guarantees a freedom no politician or pastor can take away from you, at least yet. And this is the freedom to forego caring about what others think about you and pursue your own passions. We still have this ability in this country, but it will become harder. The more of us who find each other, the stronger our movement will become. It is still early days in our collective consciousness awakening. There is no need to slowly boil with the frogs in the pot atop the stove. Jump out, my friend, and find strength to navigate this new country. Atop the stove, the frogs are resigned to their defeat. Warm enough to forget to move, too complacent to remember a force of nature within that could move a mountain if called upon. The keepers of the status quo have pushed out the risk-takers in favor of keeping their place of rank. This is our blessing in disguise. Their rejection of our ideas or demand for a new normal liberates us from their slow, boiling fate. A fate that renders each generation sicker, dumber, and angrier than the one previous. Their comfort forgoes the freedom of others, and it is a truth we will not accept. In jumping out of the simmering pot, you grant yourself the opportunity to learn the skills denied by the keepers of the status quo and the strongmen. Learn these skills and then share them with others. Find or build a community and then expand it, no matter how imperfect its inhabitants. Reject the shameful and exploitation and embrace the purity of unity. Remember the ancient and then breathe new life into it for our modern era. Practice resistance as a way of life, accepting that the American glut must forever cease and then claim a role in its end. Use your bold voice to announce your place in our movement, a shift in how we view ourselves and each other, a paradigm shift. How can losing your rights equal more freedom? It's all in how you choose to view this opportunity. We set out on this journey through uncharted territory together, one foot in front of the other, election after election, so that one day our descendants may have it better than we do. I send you courage and grit, my misfits. Let it be so.
My friends, I have lived on the margin for a very long time. And in order to have radical transformation, the kind that so many of us hunger for, you have to be willing to lose something dear. And for each one of us, that's different. And that's why the keepers of the status quo will not lose anything. They are afraid. And I grant you this freedom. I grant you this opportunity for transformation. Do not be afraid to lose something dear to you, because you are strong enough to weather that storm. No matter how dark the night may seem, there is always morning. No matter how violent the storm, the sun always shines through. Nature teaches us this. Hold dear to what you believe in, to what you were put here for. Find your people. Lock arms, because we have work to do.